Okay, here we go. So we're going to do some sorting now. So public class sort example, and then public static void main string. Did spell string right? String args. All right, let's suppose we have an array. I have an array. I'll call it r equals new. It has a -3, a 55, -4, a 2, a 12. Okay, how do you sort that? Well, first, why would you want to sort? What is the point? Why sort? Do you ever want to use something? Well, for example, do you think Google or Bing or Yahoo, when it indexes the internet, ever sorts things? Of course. If a list isn't sorted, it's really hard to use. So we sort things. Alrighty then. So let's do a for loop. For int I equals 0, I is less than r dot length. That way we can add more elements if we want to. And then we will print this out, just for fun for now. System out print line, and then r sub I. Okay, so we can print everything out here. Yes, I want to save it, of course, where I always save it. Save, good, run. Okay, I have the exact same array in the exact same order. -3, -55, -4. Well, how do I go about switching things? If I want to sort things, one of the first things I need to do is be able to switch these back and forth. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to say r sub 0 equals r sub 1, and r sub 1 equals r sub 0. Now if I did this right, which I didn't, but if I had done it right, then this would be 55, then this would be -3, just so that I can learn how to swap things. So, oh dear, I have 55 twice. Why is that? Well, in this case, r sub 0 equals r sub 1. The -3 gets completely replaced, and so it'll be a 55. So it'd be 55, 55. And then if I say r sub 1 equals r sub 0, well, they're both already 55, so that doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is put in int temp equals r sub 0, so that even though r sub 0 is about to be replaced, I'm going to put it in a temporary spot. And then r sub 0 equals r sub 1. R sub 1 equals the old value here. So you need 3 spots to switch things around. Hey, look, 55, -3, -4, -3, 55, -4. It worked. So I can switch things around. Now what I need to do, in order to do a really easy sort, is I need to kind of go through this and see if things are smaller or bigger. So for int j equals 0, j is less than r dot length j plus plus. And then what we're going to do, don't need this system out print line anymore. What we want to do is we're going to see if r sub I, if r sub I is, if it's greater than r sub j, let's switch them out. So we'll just take this code that we already got and switch them. So there we go. Now this won't be 0 anymore, so this will be I, and this will be j, and this will be I, and this will be j. What's going on here? What in the world am I doing? Well, what I've got here is I've got this array. Lovely array. And I want to sort it. So I'm going to go through the entire array, but compare it to one another. So this outer for loop, so the outer loop, what it'll do is it'll go through the entire array once. Oh, well, that's good. And then what is the inner loop going to do? The inner loop will go through the entire array again. Well, since we have this one and that one, this means it's going to go through right here. Let's go ahead and go through this a little bit ourselves. So when I equals 0, and j equals 0, then we're going to be saying is negative 3 if r sub 0, negative 3, is greater than negative 3. Oh, well, it's not, so we can ignore that. So it goes on to j. Then it says if r sub 0, that's going to be, and this will be now be a 1, if negative 3 is greater than 55, then we're going to switch it. No, we don't need to switch it because negative 3 is not. Okay, let's get to here. If I sub 0, so is negative 3 is greater than r sub j. What is j? 2. So if r sub 0 is greater than j, hey, wait a minute. Isn't negative 3 greater than negative 4? It is. So at this point, it's going to go through and switch it through. So this outer loop will go compare negative 3 to everything in the array. And, well, actually, it'll keep negative 3, and then the j loop will compare it to the rest. Once it's done, and it's got the smallest number here, which would be negative 4, it's going to go to negative 55 and compare it to everything, and so forth and so on. So if we look at this, and if you're not really sure what's going on at this point, you should you should do this with paper and figure this out. So because it helps to see it. So at this point, when this r sub I, well, that's negative 3, and that's r sub j is negative 4, it's going to swap those so that it'll soon, at this point after the swapping, let's move this here, instead of having it negative 3, 55, negative 4, it would be negative 4, and then 55, and then negative 3, and so forth. All right, so that's what it would do, and it would keep doing that step by step by step. Actually, it's kind of tedious how it all works. But this is just an example of how sorting works. All right, that compiles fine. Let's print out the result. So for int I equals 0, I is less than r.length, I plus plus, and then let's just print out. So system out print line r sub I. File that. Works well. Did it work? 55, 12 to negative 3, negative 4. I think I got it backwards. So if I want to reverse that, I simply, instead of saying greater than, I say less than. All right. Let's see if it reversed. It did reverse. Nice. Okay. So you don't have to memorize this. You just kind of need to understand it. But watch this. If I completely get rid of this, and then I get rid of this, and then use something, it's called Arrays.sort. So let's use our Arrays.sort here. All right, what is Arrays.sort? Well, I mean, do you really want to create this nested for loop yourself every time? All I want to do is sort this thing. So I have this here, so I'm going to do Arrays.sort and pass in R, and it will sort it for me. Now, where is Arrays.sort? It's import java.util and then .arrays. Or, as always, you can do .star. I can compile that. That works great. And then, just to make our lives easier so we can see all the code at once, I have initialized it. It's not sorted. I say Arrays.sort. I go ahead and print it out, and voila, it's sorted. So you can either use your own sorting method, and there's lots and lots of them, or you could just have Java do it. When Java does it, it is a really fast sort. Technically, it is something called a quick sort, and what Java does is a 2-pivot quick sort, and it is way faster than my really slow for loop within a for loop. So I recommend using Arrays.sort to sort all of your arrays because it's really, really fast.